All right. Thank you so much for joining us in this EMI virtual training. We really appreciate having you all here today. EMI has so graciously decided to come and share with us their wisdom and their knowledge, which we are very grateful for. We have 4 people with us today. We have Ben, Janine, Taylor, and Robin. I will let them introduce themselves and what they kind of do, as they have a great knowledge of their own work, and I will let them describe it to you. If we want, we can go ahead and get started with Janine. Oh, Janine, I think you're cutting out a little bit. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me turn off my camera, see if that helps. Okay, is that better?
Possibly.
Okay, thank you everyone for taking time out of your busy schedules today. We'll try to make everything as painless as possible as we go through this training of how to enter eligibility into the portal, which is going to be conducted today by Taylor Bell, who is our eligibility specialist. We also have, I am your account manager for EMI Health, and so everything that Logan receives, he can run through myself, and I can reach out to the appropriate departments in order to help him. We have today on the phone, we have Ben Glade, he's our director of enrollment. Taylor Bell, she's our enrollment specialist. And then we have our specialists from our billing department, Monica and Robin. And so I'll turn over the time to Ben right now. And if you have any questions, I think we'll wait until the end, or you can throw them into the chat as well.
Okay. My name is Ben Glade Welch, and I am the Director of Enrollment. If any of you were familiar with Tiffany, she retired, so I am her replacement. So I work closely with Taylor and will be here to assist Taylor or you if you have anything that you need from us. Go ahead, Taylor.
I'm your main contact for all enrollment needs or any eligibility issues you may be having or questions with the portal. I'm also going to be the one leading our little training today with the portal, so I can start showing the screen whenever we're ready to get that going. But yeah, and then I can also send my email to all of you guys. If you guys have any questions, I'll add that in the chat so you guys can contact me for anything you guys need. Yeah.
All right. And I won't put Monica or Robin on the spot since their cameras aren't on at this moment, but we will come back around if we have any questions for them. But I believe we should be good, Taylor, if you want to go ahead and get started with your part of the presentation.
Perfect. All right. So can everyone see my screen? All right, so this is where you'll begin. You'll first go into just emihealth.com. That's our main login point. This is where the students will also log into their own access, but this is where you'll log in to start enrolling people. Go to the top right, go under sign in for my EMI Health. Then you'll log in right here. I'm already logged in. So then it will open to this page. This page will then give you the option to click on my EMI Health, which will open the enrollment portal. If you also have the billing portal access, there will be an option for the bill pay right here, and that's where you will access their bill. So let's see, click here. Oh, sorry, let's see. Here, you will get brought to this page. If this page doesn't get brought up, then you will need to turn your pop-up blockers off, because this does have a separate window that opens for you. But then you'll go in when you want to actually start enrolling people. We do have a little instruction guide, like our little online enrollment portal guide that everyone should have received with their email with their login information. If you don't have that, I can have that resent to you. It just goes over everything I'm going to go over in this call today. So yeah, so go in. Once you log in, it'll bring you to this page right here. You'll have home, enrollment, and member. Under enrollment, you'll just go under perform enrollment. And you'll have these 3 options currently. New hire is for anyone that's not currently in our system and has never been in our system. Changes are for people that are currently enrolled but need to add like a dependent or terminate, or if you're changing an address, anything like that, you'll do through the changes. Open enrollment is the current option you're going to want to use for anyone currently enrolled in our system that just needs to be reactivated for this year's coverage. So I'll go ahead and go into showing you how to do a new hire right now. So new hire, if you don't have any, if you have a brand new student for the first time this year, this is what you will use. You'll go under an employee ID type will be social security number. If they don't have a social security number for some reason, if they're like a international student or they just haven't received theirs yet, you can use their TIN number, which is the temporary ID, or their student ID number. You just want to have the total of 9 digits. Make sure they have that in there and then include that in the note at the end if it isn't their social for whatever reason. Let's see here. And the start date will be the original or the effective date for the semester is 8/16/2023. You press go, it will bring you to the employee information portion. This is where you're going to want to enter all of your new hires information or your new students information. Let's see. And then you will need to include their email address. This is where their ID numbers will be sent. We're not mailing them to the students. They will be emailed to them and then they can download our app and access them the digital card on their app. So you want to enter their valid email address, which is usually just their university email. And then their social security number is needed. But yeah, if they don't have that, just make sure you include their temporary ID if they don't have that. So then this is where you'll enter your university student ID. And this has to be the 8 digits long. So just make sure that's included in there because we need to use that to link the billing information properly. And employment status will be active. Our address, we do need these on file for claims to go through properly. Once you enter the zip code, you can tab and it will automatically fill in all of your state and city information for you. They have a phone number, you can add that, that would be great. Just make sure to not include any dashes in there and then it will come through in our system just fine. Once that's all entered, you get to this bottom portion. Right here is where their employment will be full-time employment and the location is your department number. So for this is what links them to you and for them to actually be included on your bill. So for this person, let's just say they're in location 12. Department's not needed. Data hire is also going to just be the 8/16/2023 for their effective date for the semester. Medicare type, no Medicare. And then if they do have any other insurance, we do need to know that information. So either click yes or no. If you click yes, it will just open all these boxes for if they have, for what other coverages they have. So if they have other dental, you'll click dental and enter that information here. Vision, same thing, enter the information there. If they don't have that, just click no, and then save and continue. And then it will bring you to the dependents portion. If this person doesn't have any dependents, just go ahead and click I don't have dependents and move to the next page. If they do have dependents, you can enter them all here. It will bring up a separate page per dependent. So your spouse, children, every child will have a separate page and you'll just click save and continue. This person does not have a dependent, so we're just going to go ahead and save and continue. This will bring you to your elections page. At this point, you will click both dental and vision, employee only. If they did have any family, you'd click family or employee and children, if that was the case, and then click on the people that want that covered as well. And then save and continue. This will bring you to your page to then verify everything, make sure we have the correct social, correct student ID, make sure we have the correct spelling and everything. Address needs to be completely filled in. It will come down here, it will show your dependents again, as well as your member elections. And this is the point where you would just enter your name or your initials. And then this portion is important for when you have dependents that are enrolled. If they did have any dependents, please include if the student will be responsible for the premiums or if the department will be responsible for the premiums. Just a simple note, just something like department is responsible or student is responsible. And then that way I know for sure who needs to be billed exactly for these premiums. Then you'll submit the request. And then at this point, you can print this page off if you'd like to save it for your records for whatever reason. If a student comes back and asks if you need to audit for whatever reason, this is what you would use that for. You can save it to your computer or you can print it out and save it to your records. But that is completely optional. And then at that point, it is submitted to me. So then you can just click back and it will bring you to your main home page. So right here, you can see that I had started one for this member previously. but I didn't finish it. So it's sitting there as incomplete. So that means it's not going to come all the way over to me to approve. So you can either go into this and resume, and it will then open you up where you last left off, or you can go ahead and just delete that record if that wasn't a mistake for whatever reason. Same thing, if it is already submitted, you can go in and review this record just to see, make sure everything's good to go. If it's not for whatever reason, then you will need to delete that record and then restart the whole thing over again. And that's how you do a new hire. And then for open enrollment, this is the easiest portion just for people that are already currently enrolled. So if you do open enrollment, you can search either by their last name or or their ID. This ID, you can use their social or their student ID or their EMI ID. For this one, let's use this person. So this person, let's say they had terminated last year and they now are eligible for coverage again. So you're going to go ahead and click on their name. And then you just want to make sure, just kidding, wrong person. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so it should open to this page once you open that in the open enrollment option. It will then auto-populate everything that you already have in there in your profile. Right here, it shows their status is terminated. So you'll just want to go through and flip that to active. And then just make sure they have the same address on file, correct email, everything. And then you go from employment to back to full-time from terminated. And then also if they were moving from a location to a different location, this is where you can then make that change. So if they were moving to location 1 to location 13, you just enter it there and then they get entered into the system again. This one you don't have to change because that was already put in the system for when they first got hired on or when they first got entered in. And then you just save and continue. Don't have any dependents. If they did have dependents at that point, you could enter them there. Same thing. These, just make sure it's good to go. Save and continue. And it brings you to the review page again. And this is where you'll then just say your name and submit the request. And then it comes through to me again to the process. So that one is a little bit quicker just because all of the information is already in the system. And yeah, so that's essentially it for that portion. And then it looks like we have a little question in the chat. So this is great. So yeah, so when the student does have dependents, you can enter all of their information in that dependent portion. And then we do need to receive the information regarding their billing information. So this is the application that you will have your student fill out to indicate their billing information. So they're right here is where you will indicate whether the department is paying it or the student is paying it. All of their information is here. They indicate whether they want their dependents enrolled in dental and vision. And then this is where they would enter all of their information, of course. And then right here, they could enter a checking account or a credit card. And then that way, when I enter their information into the system, we bill the student directly for these dependents rather than the department for dependents. So if I don't have this form, you guys will be billed fully for all of the family members. Oh, yeah. And then, sorry, there's that again. So yeah, that is essentially everything with the portal. Do you guys have any questions that you'd like to go over with that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't figure out how to turn my camera on. So this is sort of complex. We have a student that's on a fellowship from Bloomberg and it's billed through third-party billing and income accounting. So our department's not paying for his stuff and the student is not paying for his stuff. So how do we pay for his insurance? Since it's not going through income accounting, what do we do? Do we have the student submit a form? I'm not sure if his fellowship can pay him anything directly. What do you recommend for that?
Happy-
So if I'm,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry.
No, please
So
go
if
ahead.
if I'm understanding correctly, basically the school's not paying for this, the member's not paying for it. You're going to receive funds from a third party.
Right, and it goes directly through income accounting, so the department doesn't see the funding at all, and neither does the student. He doesn't get any direct funds. It's really, it's kind of complicated, so we're just trying to figure out how to get the payment going to the right place.
I'm almost wondering if that might be more of an internal accounting question, like something we might need to see if we can ask Jen if she's seen something similar before, or something like that, because that might be something that needs to be handled more internally on
Yeah.
our side.
Okay, because I think what ended up happening last year was the department just ended up paying it, which is fine. It wasn't very much, but I want to do it right this year.
No, I totally understand. I get that. That's something I will ask, or I will send a message to Jen about that and see, because we are still waiting on bringing in her replacement. So I'll see if she has any information she can share with me, because
Oh,
we're still friends. So I'll see, I'll see if I can get that information from her.
Okay, great. Thank you, Logan. And it's called the Bloomberg Fellowship.
Yeah, I will take a look.
Okie doke.
Yes, thank you, Logan, because I was like, oh, that's a little unique.
Yeah, if it were more of a case like, oh yeah, the third party is willing to directly work with EMI, that would be one thing. But it sounds like if they're just doing our side stuff, like it's just income accounting, I
Yeah.
think that's a something we need to look into.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy to help. I'm just gonna write a quick note about that before I forget. All right. Did we have any other general questions about entry or that part of the process that anyone might want to bring to the table before we go just to other general Q&As and such?
Taylor,
Yes.
this Janine, on our last meeting, and I don't know if I missed it or not, but you showed them where they could put in notes bottom of the page.
Sorry, you're cutting out.
Yeah, you are cutting out, Janine.
Oh my goodness.
I think what she's talking about, Taylor, is to say whether or not the department's paying for the dependents on the note.
Yeah, so that's let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and just delete this one and redo it and show you guys. So I want to perform enrollment again, open enrollment. We're gonna go Betty Roberts. Click on her. Okay, so right here, so if you want to, if they do have a dependents by chance, you can just go ahead and fill out all of their information here. Let's see, it would be spouse or children. This one also, their dependent status needs to be updated because they will not be active in our system unless you choose a status. Make sure they have the correct address. If they have a different address on file, then that's where you would enter that there. And then save and continue. Oh, no Medicare, sorry. Save and continue. Okay, save and continue. And then this is where you can add more dependents or delete the dependent if for whatever reason you need to. Save and continue. And then you add both of them into your coverage, change the coverage level to employee and spouse. Save and continue. And then at the very end, once you verify all this information is correct for both of the people, this is where you'll see your dependents, and then all of the plan elections over here. You'll enter your name for whoever entered this. This is mainly, I want your name so I can contact whoever entered this application. So if I have any questions, I know who to contact. And then in the comments section is where you'll leave your note, either depending on the department is responsible for the premiums or if the student is responsible for the premiums. In this case, let's say the student is responsible for dependent premiums. So I'll submit this request. And then when this comes over to me, this is what I see. And then I see this little note right here that says, oh, the student is supposed to be responsible for the dependent premiums. So normally I would already have received the application from the advisor or from the student themselves. They can send that to me as well if they need to. They will receive, or they'll just have this application again, and then just complete all of this information so I know who to link it to exactly, and then include their dependents if they weren't included for some reason, and then have their billing information included on here. And then that needs to just be sent directly to me in an email.
And can I emphasize that this is like a critical piece. If the member is responsible for paying the premiums for their dependents, if we need to have that information accurately, because we do bill those students. And if the information isn't accurate, then what happens is we're charging 3 months of premiums at a time. And that does make it extremely difficult for these students. I realize that, yes, they've had coverage for a couple of months, but when all of those hit at the same time, we do have a lot of, the payment is returned. So if we could just please be very accurate and, try and just think of the students in mind, because I always feel kind of bad when we have to charge multiple months at the same time.
No, that's an excellent addition, Robin. Thank you.
Yeah.
We did have a few more questions in chat. One that came in from Kelsey. If we had to bill pay, where would we do that from? I know that we talked about that briefly, but could you show where that would be?
Yeah, so I don't have access to this bill pay in this group, but normally it would be, so once you log in, it brings you to this page. You'll have your My EMI Help, which opens the enrollment portal, or you'll have the bill pay, and it will be like a little blue button that you can click on, and then it will open the next window for your billing information.
Excellent. Thank you.
If you want, sorry, this is Monica in the billing department. I can share my screen and just briefly show what it would look like to Kelsey.
That would be great if you can. Yes, that would. I have
sure.
no qualms with that whatsoever. I'm recording. The more things that we can show people, the better. I love it.
Perfect. Okay. Can you see this group login right here?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So Kelsey, you would get a new email notification if you got a annual fall or spring statement, and that would take you to your group login. Once you then log in, it would look similar to this. I believe this is Jill Wilson's. I think she's on the call, so I just popped into hers. But this is kind of what you would see. Any new billing statement would appear right here, and you can view it by the Excel bill. And then from there, you can also pay now. And then that would electronically do like an ACH payment, and we would get the payment and then apply it. If you wanted to find prior invoices up here at the top, you can click that and do like specific timeframes and dates of when you're looking for. I believe you guys also have this option. Maybe not. Ben, should they have this option on the ID cards? Where they can view like ID cards for your specific students within your group. It would give you like their member ID numbers, and you could view an image too.
I'm actually not sure on
Okay.
this one.
I can look at their logins. You don't have any issues though if that was given to them, right?
No.
Okay. You can also do a pay now here. Select the bill that you wanted to pay. So there's a few different options of how you pay it from that front dashboard or under the pay now function. Does that answer your question, Kelsey?
I don't think I have access to any of that because I've been very confused for a minute.
Yeah.
And I think this explains Why?
Well, I was
No
looking
problem.
and I didn't see you how to log in, so that's why I didn't go to yours specifically. What department are you with?
Physics and astronomy.
Okay.
Mo-
Um,
Monica,
yeah.
And
sorry, I have to answer this, but I actually have a comment on the cards when you're done.
Okay. So
Uh,
physics and astronomy. Let me just stop sharing. Pause for a second.
and Kelsey, if we do need to get you access to this, like if this is something that you're going to be doing for your part of the department, instead of an accountant or whatever, that's totally fine. Definitely reach out to Taylor or us and we can help get that started.
Okay, because yeah, I don't think our accounting department ever did any of this. So
That's perfectly fine. Every department handles it a little differently. Like, so we want to just make sure if you need that access, we want to get you that access.
Yeah, totally. So I don't show you currently have access, but if you need it, just reach out to Taylor and then she'll work with my team to get it set up for you.
All right.
So on the ID cards, I don't think that we'll turn access on for those because I think since it's group wide, we can't like
Oh,
limit
okay.
it down to the location or the department.
Okay, perfect.
That is good to know. And then Barb, you asked about the deadlines. We are going to be sending out some of that information in the very near future where we were just finalizing a few of that. Janine sent me some helpful documents today, so I should be able to get you some more information on those deadlines and some from United either today, tomorrow, or very early next week. Do we have any other general questions that we want to bring up before I stop recording and then we will move to more specific or otherwise? All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.